about to open up the Kiamichi Amateur Radio Club net on GMRS, repeater 17. Good evening, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. This is WRUP 233. I'm going to go ahead and kick off our Sunday evening net. We'll run down our names. Everybody who can hear me, check in, and then at the end, if anybody else can hear me that I didn't call, please check in. Go ahead and get started. WRBU 372. Jason, you on the line? All right, I didn't hear anything come back on that. How about WRHS 922? Ted, are you listening this evening? How about the next one on the list is WSCN 560, Brian? On the list, WRKE 473, Tracy. PL 657, do you copy? Am I getting out?
Roger that. You're getting out loud and clear, Dale. WRPL 657.
Thank you. I just double checking there, make sure I didn't have some radio problems all of a sudden.
I can understand that.
While I got you on, anything you need to add? Any traffic?
No traffic that I'm aware of right now. If something comes to mind, I'll come back in with it.
Absolutely, sounds good. Next on the list is WRKV 987, James. Next on the list, WRWF 702, Nelson. Next on the list, WRWK 576, Amy. Next on our list is WRWK 973, Joe.
WRWK 973, I hear you.
Good to hear you, Joe. There for a minute, I was wondering if my radio had quit. Dadgum, I got a hold of Brock. You doing okay?
Yep, just sitting up here on the mountain.
You enjoy those trips up there for peace and quiet, don't you?
Yeah, it gives me a little break.
Man, I tried to reach back over to you when we were up on the mountain testing, and I never could hear you. Come back to me if you could hear me at all. Now, we only had a very short antenna. I did not climb all the way up on that tower. I didn't have enough coax to put an antenna up there very high anyway, so we ran a pole up. We were only about 20 feet off the ground. We get a regular antenna up there, it'll be more like 50 or 60 feet off the ground, and there's still a chance that we can get to you, of course, with a much better antenna as well.
Yeah, I couldn't even turn my radio on when y'all was trying. I could faintly make y'all out when Josh had his on cross repeat. It was being bounced off of him.
Could get the repeater bouncing from Josh's place back over to you?
Yeah, he said his on cross repeat or something, and it was coming back, but it was real faint, just static mostly.
Okay, and you were outside of your house?
Yeah, I was outside the house, and I had my antenna that's mounted on the roof of my porch on.
Well, we will keep working at that. We get a little bit more elevation, that might help. Stronger radio signal coming off a better antenna and a stronger signal might help. Keeping my fingers crossed. You're down in that little hole there. It may not get to you, I don't know, but we're going to keep trying.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to build a better antenna this week and get a little bit more elevation on it.
Absolutely. Anything you can do to get taller is always better. And you can get better antennas too, off and on, but height is probably the first thing I'd try, and then if you still doesn't work, then, you might want to look at a different antenna part, but the height is the main thing right now, I think.
I agree. I need to be up about probably 15 feet higher, I think.
Roger that. Well, I think it would help. I mean, it certainly will not hurt. We'll keep looking. I know a guy at one point that had some of those extendable antennas he was going to get rid of. I'll double check with him, and if he's got any more of those, we might could get you one of those telescopic antennas. I don't know, I think they're about 35 feet or so. I don't know how tall the ones he's got, but if he's got any left, I'll see if I can get us one picked up.
Okay. Yeah, I still ain't heard nothing else from that guy down in Grant and Dallas. He was supposed to give us some stuff.
Well, just keep us informed. Anyway, I appreciate you listening for us on Saturday. I was sure hoping we'd be able to get back to you, but we'll keep trying. All right, next on our list, WRWN 612, Billy. All right, we'll move down to the next person, WRWY 603, Al over in Clayton. Can you hear us? Next on the list, WRXZ 515, Chris. And on the list, WSAE 806, Mike. You okay? How about WSCI 834, Brand?
Yeah, this is WSCI 834. Got you loud and clear. I'm on my handheld.
All right, well, we got you loud and clear coming back in as well. No problems at all. WRPJ 495, Cordell. How about WRKE 495, Blake? Down is WRHS 922A, Donna. Down is WSDZ 259, Josh.
This is WSDZ 259 over in Wilson. You loud and clear.
All right, Josh, good to hear you. Good to hear you. I got just a little bit of static, but I can hear you plain.
Good deal. That's a long trek over the mountain, but it seems to be working pretty good.
Roger that. You're coming over the mountain nicely. We shouldn't have any trouble communicating if we needed to, for sure. Next down, WSEF 631, Andy. Andy, I can't hear you if you're trying to get back to us. On the list, WRYC 343, Ruth. On the list is WRWE 631, Jamie. About WRPY 829, Trey. About WSCF 347, John. Fellas, that's our list right there. Is there anybody out there that's listening that we did not call that would like to come back in and get your name on the list? I'll open it up for general conversation if anybody's got any conversation. There was about 5 of us checked in tonight on the GMRS side so far, so not a bad night. Some of our guys I thought was going to be here must have had something come up all of a sudden. But still, not a bad night. WRPO 657. Come in, 657.
Yeah, talking about there being 5 out of, 25 members on the net tonight. Do you think there might be worthwhile revisiting the day, time that we hold the net? I notice it seems to be a lot of people that are not checking in. I don't know whether they just don't have an interest in the net or if it's bad time for them.
I think we could certainly bring that up at the next meeting and discuss it amongst ourselves and see if there's a better time that, people think it would be easier for them. Some people may still be in church at this point. That's a possibility. Yeah, I think it's worth revisiting at the next meeting just to see if there'd be a better time.
Might not hurt to do that. Like you said, there may be people getting tied up in church activities or, I don't know, Sunday night football, something going on that may keep them from getting on the net.
Roger Roger that. Yeah, there's a lot of activities going on, and one thing and another. And if somebody would, I think we should talk about it in our meeting. And then, if we feel like a different night would be more feasible and easier for everybody, well, then we could certainly do it.
Do that. Well, that was the only thing that I had.
Anybody else got any information or comments or something they would like to talk about?
SCZ 259. Can you hear me, or are you still getting static from me?
I have you 259 pretty clean. There's some background noise, but I can hear you just fine.
973. Can you hear me?
Can you hear Josh up there?
Yeah, I can hear him pretty good. He's, like you said, a little staticky, but it's coming through pretty good.
Yeah, I heard him just fine that time. I don't know what was going on earlier. 259.
259, we got you coming in. It's very audible, very clear. There's background white noise, but it's not bad enough that we can't tell what you're talking about. Fellas, well, the only other thing I was going to talk about, which there's not very many of us here tonight to do it, but if Josh wants to try, or some of those other guys, to do let's try to make some contact on 2 meter. I want to change the frequency from the national calling frequency to 146.460. 146.460, 2 meter. I'll go to that channel here in a few minutes and be standing by if anybody wants to. Josh, you should try your 2 meter and see if we're getting over the hill on the 2 meter as well. But I don't want to use the calling frequency, the national frequency, any longer for our nets.
59 here. Sounds good. I'm on 146.460 now.
Okay, stand by for the 2 meters. I guess if nobody else has anything else to add on the GMRS side, we can switch to 2 meter. Those guys who can, 146.460, and we'll make a contact there just to see that we can, if you guys are interested in doing that. Other than that, the GMRS net, we'll go ahead and close it down for the evening, and I appreciate everybody's participation in it. Thank you, Joe, for coming out. I know you got to climb all the way up on that mountain to get out, but I sure appreciate you doing it.
No problem. WRWK 973, clear.
Joe, be safe getting in. Have a good evening. All right, fellas, any of you guys want to switch over to the 2 meter? I'm going to switch over to 2 meter, 146.460.